the difficulty is whether or not those statistics still apply today. Because let's not get me wrong. I've not had water from Ghana water for God knows how long. So sometimes it's almost as if I'm out of the conversation anyway. I have to provide myself, we have to find alternative means for our own water supply. But the fear is whether or not that alternative means is even safe. Or it's one of the safer sources that we are considering in this case. You do get my point. So it's a very dicey conversation.
Yeah.
And one would conclude, in fact, the WASH criteria is that you should have access to clean water.
Yeah.
Because without clean water, a lot of things will happen. You will not be able to live comfortably, and you will not be able to survive. And most of us, that starts from SSL, we are relying on sachet water. As to whether today the FDA can still release a list of sachet waters and say they are all safe in the face of all that's happening, I don't think they should do that.
Yeah.
The ones on the market, they should be able to tell everybody in this country that they are all safe.
Precisely.
And that we should be able to consume it.
Yes, more importantly, the ones that are not safe should be yanked off the market.
Yeah.
Look, potable, according to the dictionary, means quite simply safe to drink. Potable. That's what he wanted. He said he wants a Ghana where every citizen has access to water that is safe to drink. The water in this country has never been more unsafe to drink.
Let's listen
than it is
to
today.
President Akufo-Addo.
I want a Ghana where we appreciate the importance of the environment, and we acknowledge that we are custodians of the forests, the rivers, the lands, and the animals for generations yet unborn. I want a Ghana where the cleaning of surroundings is not limited to a monthly activity, but is what we do regularly as part of daily activity. I want a Ghana where every citizen has access to potable water.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Yes, Winston will bring you BNFT, but before that, the Daily Guide is reporting this morning. Akufo-Addo receives Global Citizen Award, and he's being presented the award by President William Ruto of Kenya. And the award is to the president. President's in a nice suit, receiving some, it looks like the Dr. Yuan cup. No, but this one looks a bit different. No, the one they gave, no, not Nathaniel at all. There's another one. Yeah.
What's he being awarded for doing?
Global Citizen. Okay, let me give you the full story. Now, President Akufo-Addo has been honored with the coveted 2024 Atlantic Council Global Citizen Award at the prestigious ballroom in New York City. The event, held on Saturday 20th, honored President Akufo alongside an array of distinguished global figures like the Greek Prime Minister and the Korean media pioneer Mikey Lee. Each of these trailblazers was recognized for their outstanding contribution to global peace, democracy, and human development. Key outstanding contribution to global peace, democracy, and human development. In his acceptance speech, the president emphasized that the award is not solely his achievement, but belongs to the resilient people of Ghana. Yeah. Okay, let me quote it. This moment is not just about me. It's about the people of Ghana who inspire me with their resilience, strength, and unwavering belief in a brighter future, the president stated, underscoring the depth of his connection to his nation and his citizens' connection. Now, he added that the people of Ghana, whom he called true global citizens, remain the backbone of his decision. Their sacrifices, our sacrifices, optimism, and determination, he said, continue to push the country forward amid challenges such as economic headwinds, political uncertainties, and global health crisis. Global health crisis, man.
COVID-19.
Okay. Now, the president also introduced at the ceremony, was introduced by his friend William Ruto from Kenya. Yeah. he said President Akufo-Addo represents a new generation of African leadership that holds such promise for our continent. Oh, President Akufo-Addo is the one that's saying that. The Kenyan man who sacked his entire cabinet after 2 days of demonstration that led to the death of people. He represents the new generation of African leadership.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best representation. Yeah.
Okay. So he says we are all true. We are the true global citizens, right? Ghanaians.
Yes, please. We are very resilient people.
I think maybe that's why his appointees are promising to fly us out of the country if they win their parliamentary seats.
I'm convinced the president has no such intention in mind.
No, maybe that's the intention his appointees have.
Now,
Because
39.
we are global citizens.
39. Okay, so let me state this way. The Daily Guide is reporting again so that you don't get confused. 39 NDC protesters caged. The 39 we can confirm. The NDC protesters we cannot confirm because we know this is Democracy Hub protesters, right? Around the same time last year, this same group did a demonstration. In fact, it reached the point they decried and insisted they didn't want partisan people to participate in their demonstration. But maybe editorial policy makes it possible for the Daily Guide to insist that these are 39 NDC protesters. But if you go beyond this misleading headline, the other parts of the story, they are true. That they were, after their lawyers saying they could not find them, some of them were arrested this Sunday. They could not find them anywhere in the country. Then Monday to the complaint, they were taken to court yesterday. Some were charged with unlawful assembly. Others were also charged with destroying destroying property, which included party paraphernalia and those ones. Yeah. Some were taken to prison custody. Others were also taken to, if it's not prison, the other one's what?
Police custody.
Police custody. Yes. Yeah. The question, and again, it might even be a useless quest to charge them or even arrest them. That is still the business of the court to determine. What has come under massive scrutiny is whether or not for these charges and what's related to it, it makes sense to remand them, some for 2 weeks. You get what I'm trying to say? I've seen the video of a guy who says that he was from church with his wife.
Raymond,
And that within the period.
before I get to the business and financial terms, it makes no sense to keep these persons in police or prison custody for 2 weeks. And I'll tell you why. Why? Somebody, so how are these people going to impede the investigation? How are they going to prevent investigations?
And how is even keeping the peace?
Yeah.
It's not as if okay, so I know why you're saying these things, because there's a certain standard. They are understanding that sometimes you are a flight risk.
Yeah.
And again, we also agree that judges have the leeway, but judges are also public officers who are expected, in even when they're exercising discretionary right, to comply with Article 296, which says should be fair, candid, and reasonable. To some of us, this is unreasonable.
It is.
And we are entitled to have that opinion. In fact, there's a 2017 report where Chief Justice Sophia Akufo was saying they should bring out names of judges who have the penchant of merely remanding people. This was after our locked and forgotten, documentary. And that's what leads to people being locked and forgotten. Because, quite frankly, we are saying, including people who were easily captured, who could easily present themselves, they are not in court for murder. Indeed, this is a fairly simple case.
Yeah.
That people will even contend while we are wasting our time on it. But you put that one aside. It should not make sense that there was a time, and you see the background to this, there was a time where we made certain offenses non-bailable. And we talked about how it was unfair to grouping. Because that thing is not to be abused. That process of, I will deny you bail. Hopefully, it's not one of those gimmicks where the police say, I'm continuing investigation, so keep them for me.
And they never finish.
Yeah.
Anyway, the business and financial...
Sorry, just before you come in, tell us again what they were charged with.
Unlawful assembly, destruction of property.
Really?
Yeah.
And they've been remanded for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Before they will now come and make their case
Yes.
in court. After which, if they are found guilty, what? I mean,
Yes. Now, if they are found guilty, then whichever penalty that it is deemed by the court.
penalty, does it not tend to be for such a thing a fine?
No, unlawful assembly is a misdemeanor, so your best will be, or you can also go to prison for some time. That's determined by the court.
The Business and Financial Times says $2.3 billion lost annually to illegal mining. $2.3 billion. But there's one here, Raymond, your good friend, planting for food and jobs to boost productivity and food security. We're told that trade surplus declines to 5.4 billion in second quarter. But there's one here that says Adatech sues GRA over asset auction and seeks court injunction. Let me tell you the story, Raymond. So this company comes to Ghana and starts, they engage in a water project. So they bring in equipment where they don't, which are duty exempt. After the completion of the project, they then decide to keep these equipment. And so as expected, they have to pay the duties on the equipment. They write to the Ghana Revenue Authority that says, okay, hold on, we would inspect and give you, the duty that you have to pay. The GRA gives them the duty they have to pay, and they actually send a payment plan to the GRA, which the GRA accepts. Before they can make the first payment, the GRA says, okay, hold on, we want to auction. We're no longer going to take that. We're going to auction your products. And so this company is now suing the Ghana Revenue Authority. And because they say, why? I mean, we have a letter you wrote to us somewhere in August giving us, saying you have accepted our payment plan. So if you accept our payment plan, why do you send people to our premises saying that you are in to inspect and auction something, when throughout this period we had actually been engaging you, and you were the ones that actually said, hold on a minute. When we are ready, we would give you your tax liability and show you what to do. Well, the case will move somewhere in October, but this country called Ghana. We'll go into it, of course. We'll go into it. Today we are grappling with the GPGC. Yesterday we were told, and I did my checks, and I realized that after that letter, even that the Ministry of Finance has processed $43 million to pay. $43 million.
After the 100 and whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
$43 million.
But don't we have a payment plan?
Well, we had a payment plan which we defaulted.
Okay.
Okay, so now
So we are going to sit with them again and agree on a
they are
new
attaching
payment plan.
things to it. But this is the point. At every point, and look, you would go into this case, and we'll go into it. Somebody, somewhere, may be interested in the equipment. And so they will use auction. Because look, how do you go and agree with somebody that, you can pay this? Then the next minute, you say, and the person is going to court. This is public document. They've gone to court. They're suing you. Well, the court will determine. But trade surplus declines to 5.4 billion. I'm sure you'll be interested in this. So, Raymond, we're told that the economy recorded a trade surplus of 5.4 billion in the second quarter of 2024, marking the third consecutive excess since the last quarter of 2023, the Ghana Statistical Service has said. We're told that the country, however, experienced a 53.04% decline in the surplus for second quarter compared to the 11.5 billion recorded in the previous quarter. So we're told that in second quarter 2024, Ghana's total trade volume was 123 billion, with exports totaling some 64.2 billion and imports totaling some 58.2 billion. And we're told that when it comes to exports, gold led the country's exports with a value of 37 billion, accounting for 57% of total exports. And the export share of gold is, however, an increase of 47.5% from the previous quarter. These things, Raymond, whenever I see them, I am not really excited, because ownership of the Ghanaian economy is also crucial.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, that money, whose account?
Well,
whose account?
Whose account? We're told that some 75% of gold exports are brought back into the country. I think one of the things we have to do one of these days is actually to cross-check that, find out from the bank whether they receive those dollars. Because, look, if we have exported gold in excess of about $5 billion this year already, if you had 75% of that coming into this country, we should be in a better place. We should be in a better place.
As in better support for even the currency.
Yes, exactly. I mean, better support for our currency.
But if we struggle in reading auction differences like that, and we have difficulties providing the forex, and BDCs are complaining, others are also complaining, and I see this behaving as if it has a different relationship with the dollar on all for the pound there. We hardly make mention of that, right? Because the pound is roaming over 20 cedi, and we are fine with it. All the people are paying UK school fees in the Republic of Ghana. They are crying, but they can't say it loud because people say they are rich.
We have a discrepancy overload. So many numbers don't add up in this country. So many of them that we are at risk of losing track. And those who know how to game the system take advantage of it.